But let's get back to this question of domestic terror. And it could come in two ways. One, jihadis that are embedded but have been dormant, who perhaps have been given encouragement. And you know, the MI5 Director General, Ken McCallum, has said the Taliban's victory in Afghanistan would inspire young jihadists in the West. That's quite strong stuff coming from a boss of MI5. I wonder what we can do about it. Well, joining me now is Chris Phillips, former head of the National Counter Terrorism Security Office and a former Detective Chief Inspector of the Metropolitan Police. He's now founder and managing director of the International Project and Prepare Security Office. Chris, good evening. Welcome to GB News.
Good evening, Nigel.
Do you agree with Ken McCallum that what has happened, and don't forget it was supposed to take 90 days for Kabul to fall, it happened in 90 hours, is Ken McCallum right that this could be inspiring jihadists in Britain and in Europe?
Yes, of course he's right, and the key thing here is every group that hates the West, that wants to see the West end, has been emboldened, and there's a lot of countries out there that will be very nervous, and India, for one, Nigeria, and lots of other countries around the world will be really a little bit less safe today. And of course, that extends into Europe and into the UK. There are many people here that would support them. And let's not forget, this is not just ISIS. We've been fighting ISIS for the last 5 years, but actually Al-Qaeda were based within the Taliban Afghanistan. So yes, it's another group that just sees us as the enemy and are more likely to attack us now than they were yesterday.
Chris, going back a few years when we had a series of terrorist incidents in London and around the UK, you and I spoke quite regularly. We have been through, I think, a sort of mercifully calm period as far as terror attacks are concerned in the last couple of years. In your view, do our security forces, our security services, do they have the assets, the physical assets, the human assets, the financial assets? Do they have the assets to keep us as safe as is possible?
Well, Nigel, I think they've got assets, but it depends on the sheer numbers of terrorists that they're dealing with. And we know that there are many, many thousands of people within the UK, and you can multiply that across Europe who want to do us harm still. We are releasing prisoners from long sentences who are still jihadis and still want to do further terrorist attacks, and that's what we've seen recently. Let's not forget that what we saw in Afghanistan previously was the Taliban, and they really went for the big set-piece attacks. And what we've seen over the last 5 to 10 years has been much more low-level individuals trying to attack us. So I think it may take a little while. We've got people in the UK that are a threat, but I think we may well return to these big set-piece attacks that we saw, but it may take a few years for them to get organised to do that.
OK, so, I mean, the message to people is don't panic, but we just have to be conscious and aware that these threats exist within our society.
Well, they do, and they've always been there, actually. But of course, what this has done, and what you've already said, actually, is this has emboldened the people that hate us. And if it emboldens them to attack us, then, you know, we can expect more attacks, and we do need to be careful and aware of that.
Thank you very much indeed, Chris Phillips. Do come back and speak to us again before too long. Thank you.